Welcome to the SixGear podcast once again. Jose right here. Today, I had the reaction video the last time. I got Sam in the house. What's going on, Sam?
Man, first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
You guys drove from Jacksonville, which for those of you who don't know Jacksonville, Florida, and it's about maybe 6.5 hours. And if you get stuck in traffic on I-95, you're SOL. You'll be there for hours.
Yeah, we did 6, but it was because we stopped and ate.
Yeah.
But other than that, the GPS was telling me 5.5.
So Eric 904 Local. Shout out to Eric. He lives in Jacksonville. And he comes up all the time for us, and he's done it within 5.5, as long as there's no traffic. And then there's days there's traffic and you're stuck and you're 7-8 hours. But man, I really appreciate you guys coming up here just to shoot this podcast before we go to Puerto Rico, because you're coming to Puerto Rico with us.
Yes, definitely going, man. And I'm in
excited.
There all the way, 100%.
Good. So for those of you who don't know, Clean is going to Puerto Rico April 14th, which is 30 days away. And
right around the corner.
He is coming, and he's gonna bring all this down to PR. So ya saben, mi gente en Puerto Rico, estén pendientes, él va a traer su equipo. So va a haber este podcast, lo vamos a hacer en Puerto Rico. Y no conmigo, lo vamos a hacer con ustedes, porque el evento es para ustedes. This is not for us, this is for you guys. So we're excited. Thank you for jumping on board with us on this project, and we're excited to have you guys, man.
Definitely, man. I seen you guys doing great things out here.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And the work you guys put out is
I appreciate it. We're still growing. I tell everybody that this industry is cutthroat, man.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't matter what it is. If it's either a meet, a car show, or just your local stuff, it's cutthroat. Everybody's out in it for themselves.
Yeah, it's sketchy, man, because you got a lot of people that want to be on the top, and on their way there, they don't care who's in the way. They're chopping all aside. But I have a lot of questions, and I'm
ready.
I'm ready to cut.
Go right into it, man. Let's go.
First of all, I want to get a little bit of background about you. You know what I'm saying? Where are you from? Where do you come from?
So originally, I'm from Connecticut, so up north. I lived there most of my life, and I transitioned between Connecticut and Puerto Rico. I lived in Florida, like I was telling you earlier. I lived in Florida for a couple of years. And I finally migrated and made my way here to the Carolinas. So for those of you who don't know me, I live in South Carolina. I live in Myrtle Beach. I live at the beach. I don't go to the beach here, just FYI, so don't ask, because I'm gonna tell you I don't go. There's no need to go to the beach here, but we live at the beach, and
just
obviously
walk around,
yeah, I just walk around and wave and just keep coming back. I don't get in the water or anything. But I've been here at the beach now. I think this is going on 12, 13 years.
Damn.
So I've been here for a minute.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while. This is home now. Now, it's officially home.
So this is, once you got here, this is where you established Clean?
Well, when I first got here, I didn't establish anything. When I first here, I was just working, job here, job there, doing this, running. Pero yo soy un fiebre. I'm a car guy. I've been a car guy my whole life. When I lived up north, we did car things, and I was also a biker. I rode bikes for a long time, and good friend of mine is from up north, Javier from Electro, from Import Evolution. Me and him, we go back, man. 17, maybe 16 years.
He was in Jacksonville a few years ago. Yeah.
So we go way back. So I would go all to his car shows and all the stuff he did. So I come from a background that's automotive. I love the stuff. And we came down here and working dead end jobs, as you call them, and doing one thing to another. And I want to say 2015 is when Clean really kind of started taking a boost. And it wasn't car shows. Clean was a vendor. We sold tire shine. That's what we were known for. We were known for selling tire shine, and that's how Clean kind of got established as a vendor. And we would go to other shows, and we do our tire shine and car care products, and a couple T-shirts here and there, and that's how we started focusing and getting our way into the industry itself.
Okay, so you didn't start doing meets and stuff like that?
So we always did, like I said, I've been here for 12, 13 years. We used to do a gas station meet up the street and bring out some cars. We did a lot of Toys for Tots and a lot of stuff with the locals, which we still do. And it, like I said, being part of the industry doesn't matter if it's big or small. You know, as long as you're involved and you're doing something, you know, you can consider yourself part of the industry. And you know, just it ended up happening until you get into that point where, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next?
I have a question because I know on the podcast that you mentioned clean and a product being behind clean.
So when we started clean, and this is I'm gonna make a long story short, we were brand reps for a product called Street Legal, and we used to sell tire shine for them.
Nice.
And we ended up falling apart, and people still wanted a product, and it didn't matter that it was a Street Legal product. They wanted clean. They wanted something from us, because sometimes a product is not the name on the product; it's the people behind it.
Exactly.
You know, and we decided we want to go ahead and move forward and, you know, do our own tire shine. And we found a couple companies that we worked with, and they produced the tire shine for us, which we still have. We have a couple cans laying there, and we pushed our product to where that's what we became. Clean Society, which is our first brand, was about car care, and it was tire shine and waxes and stuff like that. And we started going to other shows and vending and, you know, XYZ, and it motivated us to do more. That's how we got into working with other peoples and other brands and other shows, because we were always vendors at their shows.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago right there.
Yeah, so
it's looking toward bigger
things. There's always a bigger picture. I tell this to a lot of people. You got to look at the bigger picture. And this is, and for us, it's not about the money. You know, you've heard the story. I've told it. And I say it all the time. Man, last year was bad for us. We were negative. I owe a shit ton of people money. It ain't nothing new. You know, people out there, they're gonna go and they're gonna talk shit. Oh, Sam does this. He owes money to this person. I'm like Eminem. What are you gonna tell? You gonna tell a story about me that people already know? People already know. Yeah. I'm not out there hiding it. Yeah, like, well, we had a tough year. I was negative almost 19 grand. You know, but what did me and my team did? Kept pushing forward. You know, and I got to give all the credit to the guys who are here with me and stuck with me, because they don't see clean as the money maker. They see clean as
friend behind.
Yeah, they see a vision. They're like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, and we stand behind you. You know, we want to see clean as a household name, whether it's the events, whether it's the products, whether it's the merch, whether it's my shop, because everything is tied. This is Clean Garage, tied to clean. Clean Society products, the products is tied to clean. Clean Exhibition, the shows, is tied to clean. It's the name that we're trying to push. Doesn't matter what market, what genre, or what type of vehicle or whatever it is. It's the name itself that we're trying to push beyond. So, you know, and it's tough.
Yeah,
this is tough.
Not easy.
No.
Especially dealing with a lot of different type of people. You know what I'm saying? In this industry.
Well, you're in Jacksonville. You do meets. You know.
Yeah.
Not easy.
It is crazy.
And what's crazy is I actually heard, and this was Eric. He said, Sam, he shut down his own meet because people got stupid.
Yeah. I called the cops. I called it like that, and it's because of this. People don't understand that when you're working for something, you're trying your best to put it.
It's a bigger vision.
It's a bigger vision. Is you're trying to put it at the top.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let somebody that has nothing going for themselves and ruin it for me.
Exactly.
So I was like, I'm not gonna let nobody, ruin my name.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, come shut this down because it's not going the way it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I mean, going a little bit off the topic, I kind of understand why sometimes the most of the time you get mad in your
in my podcast.
Yeah, in your podcast.
So people always say, oh, you're going out there and you're ranting and you're telling us. No, I'm a very emotional person. So it's funny. I hide emotion, but I also show emotion. And when it comes to the industry and the automotive, I'm very invested in it. I'm very passionate because I see the potential that a lot of things could have and the potential of what people can do and can be. And it hurts because 10, 12 years ago, it wasn't like this. Now it's gotten to the point where, there's the takeovers. Takeovers ruin it for people like us who want to do legit shows because, and this happened to me recently. I called a venue and I asked them, hey, I'm interested in renting out your facility, yada, yada, XYZ. And they're like, hey, we would love to. You have great references, but we don't know if you're going to draw a crowd that's going to have takeovers in our streets. So I'm not saying that my show was bad and I was going to bring a bad crowd, but they were afraid that there would be people that would come and ruin their city.
That happened to the truck meet in Daytona not so long ago.
Wow.
Then people started doing crazy shit, and now they're saying they're not welcome back to the city. I mean, they're
done.
They're shutting it down.
Lone Star Throwdown was another show that just happened in Texas. I think like a week or 2 weeks ago. Same thing. You know, it's a show that's been going on for years. Very reputable show. Huge vendors, sponsors, you name it, they're there. The heavy hitters, and you had a couple bad apples come show up and ruin it.
Ruin the whole thing.
Ruin it. So I saw them. They got on social media to express. That wasn't a rant. That is true feelings of someone of ownership, of someone who's built a brand and a name for the past 10 years or however long it was, and have someone come and ruin it because literally it takes 60 seconds.
That's all it takes.
To ruin something that was built.
Somebody's ego.
Somebody's ego. And here's the stuff. It's the passion and the heart that you have behind it for what you do. Mm-hmm. Because like we were saying before, man, sometimes you make no money. You break even if you're lucky. Because people don't factor in your personal time that you have invested. Because as you were setting up here, I'm making emails and phone calls, calling people in Puerto Rico, making sure there's stuff. That's my time. I can be home with my family. I can be, watching Netflix or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. There's times I'm working 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to send an email. Time is money.
It is.
And people don't account that for what you do. Because at the end of the day, you have to pay yourself something, and you have to make something out of it, and not necessarily it works like that.
With all this, all these shows that you put together, right? How difficult is it? And I know you just mentioned a few of them, but when it comes to location, vendors, all that stuff, how Sam handles that?
So one of the first things, which is funny, I don't know if you saw, I just posted my first show of the season for 2025. So I'm already working 2025 to get a leg up, so people, and I don't say people, so other event companies and brands don't book the same day or the same week, so there's no conflict of interest, which is very hard to do.
Yeah.
Very grateful. I don't know if you know who David Medina is. He does Honda Fest. He just did Honda Fest down in Puerto Rico literally this past week.
Oh, I see
great,
the post,
great guy. He goes out of his way every year and he creates a master list. Basically, almost every show on the East Coast, from Boston, New Hampshire, all the way to Florida, like hundreds of shows. He goes there and he'll message the guys, he'll message the promoters and say, hey, what's your show list? And he creates this list. And what we do is we try to go off that list so that way I'm not booking against Import Evolution or Tune Revolution or Slammed Enough, when we try to respect as much as we can somebody's date or location or week, but it's tough. So that's step number 1 is your date. Number 2, location. You don't want to go to the same place somebody else went to, because at the end of the day, it's the same show with the same cars, just a different promoter.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
And there's a lot of shows. There's a lot of shows that do that, and you could tell that throughout the years they keep doing it. Less and less quality cars keep going, less and less, because they keep seeing the same thing. It's repetitive,
And it's tough. Somebody who built a car last year is not going to spend another $20,000-$30,000 building a car this year, because they already invested their money. So that car that I saw last year, I'm going to see him at my show. I'm going to see him at Slammed Enough. I'm going to see him at Tuner Evo. I'm going to see him at Import Evolution. I'm going to see the same car. And it'll be like that for 5 years, to the point where now the enthusiast is like,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
And then you got the newcomers coming up with their half-made builds.
Yeah.
That it's not bad, but they're not at the standards
as of the other guys who built
one that got $30,000, $20,000 in their car.
And wheels and suspension don't make a car, and people they hate it, but it's the truth. I've got guys.
And stickers don't make.
Yeah, stickers don't make it. I've got guys who've got fully built cars, and I've got guys who, it also comes down to money and budget. Not everybody can go drop 30 grand on a car, 20 grand. Mm-hmm. Not everybody can afford 3-piece wheels and be like, yo, I spent $4,000 or $5,000. I got my wheels. There's hand-me-downs, man. I traded those for another set of wheels because.
But they look good though.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they look even better in person. I see them in the video, and I'm like, damn. But now I was like, holy shit.
And it's tough because if I had the money to buy 3-piece wheels, I probably would, and I probably wouldn't, because every time I do I see something else that will motivate me more. I want to see my business grow. So whatever we do make comes back to here, because at the end of the day, I have to pay the shop. So like we did an audio build the other day. Yeah, we made some money. Where'd it go? To pay the fucking rent.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
What was left over after? It's to pay the rent, pay the lights, to pay the. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
money comes in one hand, goes out the other.
Goes on the other. You know, the cost of everything has gotten up. So even for us, booking this year and last year and for next year, we've cut down from 6 shows to like 4, because everything's gone up 20%. So a venue that I was paying, you know, hypothetically 12 to 15,000, now you're paying 19 to 20, sometimes even 25.
Yeah, this inflation has gotten everybody fucked up.
You know,
It's affected everything.
Everybody. Yeah. I mean, I bought a pack of eggs the other day. I paid $5 for a pack of fucking eggs. You know, it's tough.
It's literally the saying that they say in Puerto Rico, "Los huevos se pusieron a peseta."
See, yeah, you know, if I could have chickens in my backyard, I'd probably have chickens right now, because they're gonna lay something. See, I can't have that. My HOA won't allow me.
Oh, they don't know about it.
Yeah, see, because if not, I'd have huevo. I'd have gallinas, you know, poniendo a huevo, because you know, I'm a breakfast person. I like my scrambled eggs, my fried eggs. You know, I put eggs on my rice in Spanish, so you know how that goes.
Yeah.
So, but again, you know, you gotta go out there and spend the money, and unfortunately, it's gotten, and it's gonna get even more expensive and even more worse. So for somebody like me, I have to limit what financially I know I'm gonna make, or I'm not gonna make what's gonna be my gain. So, you know, a least expensive venue, less travel, because of course then you have a house. You gotta get a staff house for all my guys. You know, I gotta pay them. And luckily this last year was terrible. We didn't pay a lot of my guys, and they were happy. Some of them were like, "Yo, Sam, I don't give a shit about that, man. My guys who are with me now, man, they give 2 flying fucks."
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're in here.
Die, that's why.
Yeah, they ride or die, man. That shit.
They're all out. Yeah.
You know, when it was good,
man.
when it was good, we all ate good. We stayed in fancy houses. We ate good. Everything. When it was bad, it's bad. We came.
For everybody.
We did one show and it was bad, and we ended up leaving the show and coming here to the shop, and we ordered pizza, and everybody, literally, we were all sitting right here, eating like a family. Just the other day, we got together and we were here. We did a birthday party. They all came and sang happy birthday, because at the end of the day, clean has always been about family. And the guys who are with me now, some of them have been like my guy JP, he's my daughter's godfather, so he's been with me from day one. Family forever. You know what I'm saying? And now we have a couple new people who have shown like, yo, Sam, we fuck with you. Like, we see what you're doing, and we're happy to be on board with you, because we see what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go. And for us, again, you know, as much as I want to say, man, I want to make $1 million, I don't see it happening. I'm happy if I make $5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've seen people, you know, do car shows and all that stuff, and I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to live off of this." It's like, dude, you can't live off of that.
No,
you have to put it on a show like weekly.
You got to put on a show every single month of the year, and you got to do 20 shows, because one show has to float. One show. Here's the thing. There are shows that you will do that are bangers, and you're gonna make money, and then there's shows you're gonna do you're gonna go bankrupt doing it. Mm-hmm. Not every show you're gonna do is gonna be a good show, and then you know you get stuck like me, and you do a show that my last year Greenville show, which usually my biggest show, was my worst show of the year. From 300 cars that would normally come, only 100 showed up. From 1,000 to 2,000 people that came through the door, only 370 came through the door.
Why do you think that happened, though? You think the inflation and all that
inflation,
stuff?
You know, other events that same time, lack of support, sabotage, whatever you want to call it, you know, a mix of things, you know, and that cost me that show. When I said we came home, and I'm like, yeah, what the fuck?
That was the one where the fire marshal was fucking with you.
No,
right?
that made it even worse.
Damn.
That made it even worse. The fire marshal se metió, no queda, you know, we had to turn away a shit ton of car. It was a tough, probably the worst show I've ever done. And mind me not, I worked before I was Clean Exhibition. I worked for Tune Revolution. I worked for TE for 4 or 5 years. I was one of their main guys. So a lot of the stuff that I learned to run a show, I got it from them. So when I left, we didn't leave on good terms. You know, now it's to the point where, like, to be honest, I can't even remember half the shit that even happened. You know, I will always be grateful of what I learned from them. And I learned the good and I learned the bad, to where I'm to the point now where I'm like, all right, I gotta make sure that I don't make this mistake. You know, like I just seen something about them, you know, because they owed somebody money, and it got really bad, and they made a video on them. And I understand both parties, man. I understand the frustration on the video. On his name is Doyster. He did a video for them, and he hadn't got paid. I understand that frustration. I understand Tuner Evils, because even though it looks behind closed doors like they're making mad money, they're probably not. No. And I'm a perfect example. Like, I owe 2 of my media guys right now. I haven't paid them, you know, because I haven't had the money. If I had the money, they would have been paid. But I got to float. I got a mortgage.
And you know, and that's crazy, because a lot of people, they see these big shows like that, and that's the constant. That's what they bring. That's what they get that in their mind.
So
these motherfuckers making.
They're banking.
They banking.
Yeah, man. You got to pay the convention center. You got to pay the fire marshal. You got to get, if you work at the city, you got to get a city permit. You got to pay security in some places, EMT. You know, extra little things here and there. I was telling you about the one in Virginia. You know, I didn't know we had to pay the city at $1 per ticket that we sold.
How was that show?
The show was good. There was the backlash after that. That, you know, it's $9,000 that I got to pay on the city. Damn. You know, so I've been very humble, and I'm open about everything. You know, people, you know, they want to go out, they want to call me. I don't give a shit, bro. I'm like I told you, I'm like Eminem. What are you gonna say about me that people don't already know? Yeah. You know, I got to feed my kids, and I got to feed my family. If I have to sell, which I did, not too long ago, I was in a tight rut, bro. I sold all my guns just so I can feed my family.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
My girl, my oldest, she goes to private school, and they just sent me a bill, and we were a month behind. And I'm like, yo, I gotta make some moves. Pawn shop, whatever's gotta go, it's gotta go, because she got to go to school. You know, they just repoed one of my vans because I couldn't afford to pay it. They're about to take the other one. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. People don't see the sacrifice sometimes that comes behind it. I'm not a big name. People say, damn, Sam, tú estás trepado, tú estás elevado, you got a big show going on. This, bro, like, this is blood, sweat, and tears for me. Like, I put everything, I invest everything into it, and sometimes for nothing in return. You know what I'm saying? Just the satisfaction of meeting somebody like you. Eso for me has more value than the $1,000 that I would make at a show. Because, yeah, a show was good, but the people that I meet and the memories that I form from that,
the friendship,
have more value.
Lifetime.
The day that I pass, I wanna be buried and be like, yo, Sam was that dude who looked out. Sam was that dude who was always there. Sam was that dude that no matter what, he kept fucking pushing for him, for his family, for his brand. That's what clean is for us. Everything else at the end of the day doesn't matter. You know why? Because one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day some shit's gonna pop off, and guess what?
It'll pay off.
That's number one. Pero si pasa como pasó before COVID, and they shut everything down.
Yeah,
everybody who lives off the car shows better go get a 9 to 5. See, I have a brick and mortar shop. I'm essential because we do all kinds of shit here. So this will continue to move on. Yeah, you know, we have other ways of helping bring in for us to survive. You know, we're getting to that point now where we're being able to stand on our own 2 feet, where now we can go ahead and be like, all right, let's clear this bill off. All right, let's clear this bill off. All right, this, you know, and going into Puerto Rico, man, for those of you who think that we're going to Puerto Rico and it's going to be a banker show, yes, Puerto Rico's going to be a good show, but there's no money there. It's a free show.
Yeah, I seen that on a flyer.
It's a free show.
After you sent me the flyer, I was like,
it's a free show.
It's a free show.
So, you know, money that comes in from that show helps pay for the VRBO for my staff, helps pay for the food for the staff, and the week that we're there. And we were blessed that the alcalde, which is what we call the mayor of the town, blessed us and gave us all the permits and signed all the letters and stuff. And we're very grateful to go and be able to get our feet wet.
Yeah.
Because again, I did a show in Puerto Rico. When I worked for TE, I helped Tuner Evo get to Puerto Rico.
That was like a few years ago. That was
2019, before COVID.
Wasn't in Iran Beathern?
No, that was Elite Tuner who went there. We went so Tuner Evo. If you guys don't know the background, Tuner Evo was the first show U.S. to go to Puerto Rico and do an indoor static tuner car show. And at that time, it was myself, Jay Martinez, which is one of the owners for Tuner Evo, and a couple other guys. We were flying there every other month, literally. Eso era, we would work, get plane tickets, and fly and market the event. And it was a lot of work. Doing a show in Puerto Rico is not easy. It's a lot of politics.
Yeah.
You'll need a promoter. and you need a promoter's license. So if you're not from Puerto Rico and you don't have a promoter's license, you have to hire a promoter. That promoter goes and does everything for you. He has to go to ticket. It's a big. So for me, I didn't want to. I didn't. First of all, I didn't have the money to pay a promoter. So the best way to do it is to do it for free and do it. I'm doing it in my hometown where I grew up. So the alcalde was like, absolutely, like this makes sense. You're bringing something from that no one's done here. So
it's going to bring a lot of people into Florida.
Exactly. So very grateful that they've given us the opportunity and the green light. And there's a lot of people out there in Puerto Rico right now that have given us the hand. You know, Jorge Reyes the other day, we were on the phone helping me out with a stage. Nestor from Eurofest, you know, has always been out there helping us. Juan Luis, and it's funny, I just met this guy, I just met this kid through social media. He applied for the show and we became really good friends. And I'm like, yo, si yo te envío, if I send you a box of flyers, you know, you got me? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna send you a box of flyers and I'm gonna send you some merch, some t-shirts and a bunch of stuff and send it out to him. Bro, he's been out there like.
I seen him tagging you on
bro,
all the
he's out there at the shows hustling, you know.
That's what's up though.
That's why I do it. Olvídate del evento, olvídate de eso, la amistad, you know, the friendship I formed with this, with him and other people. You know, we got one of our models, Gladys, out there. She's out there, same thing, hustling and, you know, talking to people. Mira, ven al evento. That's what makes it for me. Caribbean exclusive, you know, there's so many. Again, when we go to Puerto Rico, yes, we're going to showcase the show, but we're going to, because, you know, we have Clean Magazine.
Yeah.
So Clean Magazine, the issue for May, it's all Puerto Rico.
Nice.
Esa revista for May, it's literally about Puerto Rico, the culture, the car scene, you know, artists. We have a couple artists that we're going to be working with, and we're going to go visit some of the stuff they do. La revista va a ser de la cultura. It's going to be about the culture. Yeah, cars are great. We see the cars on videos and everything, but I want the people. Like, I want this interaction with the people. I want to sit down. Vamos a comernos un arroz con gandules, un mofón. Vamos a hablar. I want to talk about the culture. That's what's missing, because a lot of people out here, yeah, you're going to see it, but when you open the magazine and you're like, oh, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick. I can't wait to go.
Yeah, that's gonna be the difference.
I'm hyped up because as soon as when I seen the flyer, I was like, man, I gotta ask this guy. I was like, so I was like, what's up? He was like, let's do it.
So what's even crazier, and I gotta give a big shout out to we call him El Papa. El Papa went to school with me. We're both from the same town. We're from Florida. He lives in Georgia. And just, you know, shits and giggles going back and forth. I said, yo, how about if we do a show in our hometown? And he says, mire, cabrón. Because he's not Puerto Rico. He says, yo, I'll talk to my brother, because his brother's still over there. And, you know, some of our friends that we grew up with in school, they still live there. He says, yo, let me make some phone calls and see if we can make this happen. Y por él fue que hizo contacto. He made the contact and says, hey, Sam, my brother says you need A, B, C. I need a letter. I need this. I created everything. I sent it to them. I sent it to him. He sent it. Y a través de él, he was the one who prepared everything for the event. Tú sabes, él me decía, Sam, mira, they need this paper, this document. They need, you know, this insurance paperwork. And okay, Papa, whatever you need, Pam. He goes, okay, now we just got to wait for the secretary and the alcalde. And then it was just a waiting game. And it was because of him that we were able to do this, because it wasn't because of me.
So how long of a period since you started planning it out to like now that you're like, we're 30 days away from being there?
Man, I want to say October of last year. October, November. Yeah, shit, yo tú espera. We were waiting.
Puerto Rico things are kind of
yeah,
too,
yeah.
so
I was waiting.
You gotta know exactly who to go to in order to make things happen.
Tú sabes, and it was because of him. And then his brother, because then they needed an authorized individual on behalf of Clean to go to the mayor's office and pick up the paperwork. And then after you pick up that paperwork, you have to distribute it to different agencies. It's very political.
Yeah.
So his brother went, y me hizo el favor. He went, he's like, yo, Samuel, I got you. And he picked up the letters, got it from the secretary, and he went to one place and says, hey, this is what's going on. Here's the document, everything signed by the alcalde, da-da-da. Thank you. They signed off on it, grabbed that one, went on to the next place and said, here, and signed off on it. And you know, because of them out there, they were the ones, they were the key role players. Because at the end of the day, I say this, and you'll hear my wife say, I'm just the face of the fucking company, man. I'm just the person you're going to see that's on the stage. But behind closed doors, there's other people that factor in for vendors, paperwork, merchandise,
It's a team. It's a team.
a lot of different things. And just like right now, I'm the one doing the podcast. I'm the face of it, but there's somebody right now doing something for clean on behind closed doors to make sure that Puerto Rico runs, smoothly.
Nice. So the plan for Puerto Rico right now is what's happening now, right? My question to you is, what's going to happen after that? Are you planning to do something in the future?
I learned, I want to say this the right way. It's never at my time. I've been wanting to do something in Puerto Rico forever. After I left, I parted ways with TE. I wanted to go back and do something. And we had something planned right after COVID. And I was telling you about it, another company outbid me where we wanted to host the show. And unfortunately, financially, if someone says, hey, I'm going to pay $5,000-$10,000 more than you, can you bid?
Of course they're going to take it.
I'm like, I'm like, go ahead, give it to him. And I'm starting to learn more and more as I go by that it's sometimes not at my time. Sometimes is like we say in Puerto Rico, al tiempo de papito Dios. It's when God wants you to allow you to do something. So if he's going to allow me to make my next move of what I want to do, then we're going to go ahead and do something else and something bigger. I want to get my feet wet first. And we have a lot of friends out there, man. It's crazy the support from all the people out there ready to see. And it's not even about the show. I had somebody, mira, you want me to pick you up at the airport? And I'm like, no, I'm coming with 3 of my guys. Hey, man, do you want to come?
Got family members coming in. Mira,
I had somebody says, mira, pa que venga con el grupo. And I'm like, yo, it's like 10 of us. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to cook for all of you.
That's crazy.
So, and again, it's not about the show. It's like the family, la getting together, la comunión, the brotherhood. That's what this trip is more about than anything. So, but we're excited, and if we can make something else happen for 2025 or 2026, then hey, we'll try.
Definitely, I'm definitely. If you're doing it, I'm definitely.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Because that's what happened. Like when you told me about the show, I was supposed to be over there in March.
In March,
and I was like, nope, we're not going to March. We're going in April. So, yeah, definitely, man. I'm definitely going for that. When y'all go over there, make sure you go to the river, though. Yeah, go to the beach, but go to the river. So
what's funny is my whole staff that's going, and I got to shout out my staff, the ones that are here now. They're going on their own time. Because this show, here's what's funny, this show wasn't going to happen. Even though we had gotten all the permits and all the paperwork, financially, acuérdate, I have to take mercancía. I've got to take my merch. I've got to take my canopy. I've got to take all my shit. It's not like I can get on my car and drive over there.
Yeah, you got to ship everything.
I got to ship everything. And we were all talking. They're like, fuck it, I'll just book my flight and I'll go. And I'm like, I was like, yeah, man, if it's cheap, I'll do it. So we finished.
The plane tickets
cheap. Also, it's funny. We finished the conversation, and literally they got on Expedia or whatever, and they found all the tickets leaving Southwest through Orlando, because we're not leaving through Myrtle. We're leaving through. I gotta drive to Orlando. I think the tickets were like, it was one something. It was less than $200 round trip. Super cheap.
Yeah.
Southwest gives you 2 bags for free. So I'm like, word, tú vas a llevar una caja, you're gonna take a box, you're gonna take a box. Everybody, so that way, now I'm not having to ship these big ass boxes to merch. Yeah. Everybody can take up to a 50-pound box. Everybody's just taking a backpack with their clothes because it's summertime out there. We're gonna be wearing shorts the whole time.
It's hot as hell.
So everybody says, yo, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna show the people. And my team are the ones who's put this more together. Like I said, I'm just the face, man. And I need to do it more where I'm bringing my team on stage and talking about them individually, because they are the ones who make this run, man. At the end of the day, like I go there and I'm like, hey, I need this done, and they do everything, man. From the setup of the canopies, the taking this bitch everywhere, taking this,
El muerto.
Yeah. Whenever we got to set up our LED screens, man, it's gotten to the point where my main model, Baby Ray, her husband has learned the ins and out of this. So when I'm not available, he goes on, he jumps in, and he knows how to wire everything. He knows how to take it apart, blah, blah, blah. He did that on his own. I never asked him to do that. That's the love he has for us. Eric will go in there and he'll take care of it. And he's like, yo, I got it. I switched out the panels, blah, blah, blah. He'll let me know, hey, we got to order 2 more. that's yeah, you know.
Yeah, you can't find a lot of people like
you
that,
know,
dude.
same thing with Ray. Ray on the back end, working with the models. You know, what needs to be done. Hey, can we do this? Hey, you know, again, people see her the day of the show and they see the model side of her. They don't see the side that I see. Bro,
She's hustling, working, helping.
when I mean she's family, she comes on family trips. We went to Disney together. She came down here. We went and we drove to Disney, and she spent the weekend with us at Disney. She is family. Like she's invested in clean. She sees the bigger picture. She knows what we have because we talk about it all the time. And she's like, yo, it's not gonna be today. It's not gonna be tomorrow. But someone's gonna pick up on it, and they're gonna be like, yo, we gotta invest in it, or we wanna fuck with these people because we see where they're going.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what's up. Other than all the shows that you've done and you've been to, which one's the most memorable one for you?
I want to say it was there's two. I'm gonna say my first one. My first one was my first clean exhibition show ever. Official clean exhibition was the first Greenville we did. And I remember it was insane because it was right after COVID, so everything had been lifted. So it was like the first maybe one of the first 5 shows in the season, because we did it in February, that was open, that was indoors, and everybody was hungry for something. I came in, man, and I remember standing in the middle of the venue and looking around, and I started to tear up. I still tear up thinking about it now because I was like, yo, I didn't think I can do this. Because it was funny, I had done a Toys for Tots in November here, and I took the money that we made off our merch, because the Toys for Tots is all for charity, all the toys we give away, so the money we made off our merch, I took that and I asked the venue, like, would you take a deposit on a date? And so November, December, January, February, so 3 months of promotion, but you couldn't fit another fucking car in that shit. I remember the line was around the bill, out the door. It was the biggest show I've ever done. It was one of my best shows, and it was great. Everybody came out.
You just stand there and be like, oh man,
Yeah,
I just made this shit happen.
yeah. We've had great shows, and we've had bad shows. I mean, it is what it is. And then my second show that I want to say was like the emotional one. Well, not emotional, but when I did Puerto Rico with TE, because I remember there was always a language barrier, and I speak Spanish fluently. So when we did the show, on our staff, not everybody was as fluent as I was. So, you know, one of the guys got on stage and there was a language barrier. The people weren't understanding what he was saying. So I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna make it off. So I grabbed the microphone, got on stage, and I started hosting the show. And I remember at that time, Ghoulie was there, and Ghoulie jumped on stage with me, and we ended up hosting the show. You know, we met a couple of the people, and it was funny. I have a picture of him. When Jay Wheeler first started, before who he was now, Jay Wheeler was at Tuner Evo singing, and nobody knew who Jay Wheeler was.
Nobody was barely paying attention to him?
No, because the headliner for the show was Ñengo Flow. So we had Jay Wheeler and Ñengo Flow. So Jay Wheeler came in, he sang, and everybody's like, okay, Jay Wheeler. Now Jay Wheeler's, bro, and I've got pictures, it's so funny. Yeah, Jay was on top, and then we had Ñengo Flow, and Ñengo Flow closed out the event. And for me, that was one of my second memorable events. It was just the experience and the people that I met through them in the island that was fantastic.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You take all these memories with you, you know what I'm saying? And that's the best part about it.
It's the memories.
Because sometimes you could just be on your most relaxed moment and go back to those moments and be like, damn, I had a blast at that time, you know?
And it's funny you say that, because on my weakest days, when I'm self-doubting myself, because everybody does that. Doesn't matter what business you're in.
We're humans.
Yeah, we're human. You can own the biggest merchandise company in the world, and you're gonna self-doubt yourself at some point. When I'm self-doubting myself is when I sit there and I say, man, but this was so worth it. You know, was being able to meet certain individuals, and talk about their experience. You know, that is always has so much value. Yeah. So much value. And sometimes it's not even a show based. Like I told you today, there's Run of the Sun. I came to visit, which a lot of people don't know, but he is now, I want to say, my business partner, besides my friend, he's a partner in clean, went to see him, and just being able to talk to him and talk about the future of clean and talk about where we want to take it to the next level. Those moments are what assures me that I'm moving in the right steps. Doesn't matter what anybody says, because people are going to talk shit about you regardless.
Oh,
especially
when you're doing something that
Look,
is getting a lot of traction. You
I
know
can be standing at the light right now sending water bottles, and someone's going to talk crap about you. I can be selling $1 million bottles. Someone's going to track.
Yeah. There's always something negative that everybody's going to say. You know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, and it's on you to turn that negativity into something positive.
It's something positive.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then they're always going to talk shit.
Always. People are always going to hate. And then the biggest one is envy.
That is the biggest one.
People hate from far. The people who don't know you are the ones that hate you, most of them. The people who envy you are the ones that are closest to you. The ones that are the ones who say they're there and they're not, or the ones who will help you. I've got
in this industry, like we're talking, right? You've made a lot of enemies.
It's hard to say. And
the reason I ask you is because when in the videos, when you express yourself towards the people that say negative things, you're quick to respond.
Absolutely.
You're kind of like quick to snap, because I guess your tolerance level is...
It's already at that point.
Yeah.
If you catch me, bro, you catch me at my best, man, I'm going to give you my clothes. I'll walk naked for you. You catch me at my worst, I'm going to say some shit. But in the last couple months, and this is all because of my friend, one of my guys, JP. Every morning, JP sends me something in scripture. He sends me a positive message. Something. Because of that, it's pushed me on another level of how to maybe not even rant or speak on it. Because at the end of the day, nobody really gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me against the world at that point. It's today's news. Tomorrow something else will come up. And then I sit there angry for days and weeks and months. And nobody else gave a shit. And then you know one who suffers and who dies is me.
Yeah. That shit gets to people's health, man.
I don't want to
on it. If you tweet it, you read it. It's gonna get to your heart.
It's gonna get you. So
yeah.
I don't want to say that I've made a lot of enemies. There's been broken bonds on both ends. I'm honest, you know. I'm human. I've made mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to correct one shit. Just the other day, Jorge Reyes and Gio from Cake Tune, man, we hadn't talked in a year. We didn't even know why we were mad at each other. We didn't know. We just stopped talking.
It was probably something simple, and it's been so long that y'all both took it to heart that y'all forgot about that shit.
Dejamos de hablar.
I know I'm mad at you, but
I'm talking about, you know, two people that very well invested in my brand, and I'm very well invested in theirs. You know, Amigo, they were key to me going to Puerto Rico many years ago, and I was key to them to come to the States. And look, dejamos de hablar. And back and forth on Instagram, just on some bullshit. I'm like, yo, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
And that opened up the door, and I ended up having conversations with them. And then, you know, there's other people in the industry. I don't want to use hate anymore. Hate is a strong word, and I don't want to teach my kids to hate.
Yeah.
Misunderstandings. I think there's misunderstandings and bad communications and lack communications. I'm bad at communicating sometimes, and I think other people are too. And sometimes they don't want to talk about certain subjects, or they don't want to. But it's getting to that point where either they're going to address it or I'm going to address it, because sometimes, you know, you end a good friendship, or you end a long life of business or political, whatever the case may be, over something. So I've got some pending conversations with some people that, you know, I'm going to at some point sit with them. I've got two show hosts that I haven't talked to in years. You know, I've got two show hosts I haven't talked to in years that I want to have a conversation with them. just so they know, like, whatever happened, happened, man. Life is too short, on both parties, on both ends. Neither we're gonna make something together and do something where people be like, yo, them motherfuckers is some shit.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna keep hating each other, and at this point, no vale la pena.
Yeah, the
no
world's
vale la
too fucked
pena
up right now, man. And we need to be as humans more close to each other than look at all these damn wars. You know what I'm saying?
So one of my short podcasts I did I want to say last year. I said it. What the problem is humanity. We are so focused on what social media says, what Facebook says, and Instagram, because once you read it, you're invested.
Yep. All your emotions are in there.
All your emotions are invested in something that honestly you shouldn't even care about.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said tweet it, don't read it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna post something, and something that to you is something that you value, but there's always gonna be somebody saying some negative shit.
Absolutely.
And if, like you said, you take it to the heart, you're gonna be mad for weeks.
You're gonna be mad for weeks.
That's not good for you.
Man, I've had people this year. Well, not this year. Well, yeah, this year and last year. Man, I had people, hasta perro muerto, como dice, called me every name in the book. From thief to greedy to narcissist, man, you name it. And if you come to know me, man, I'm one of the, like I said, those who know me and know me personal, who broke bread with me, who've sat there, who've seen the struggle, and I will give you anything I have. I mean, shit, you've been here now and you've seen, and there's so much more. Like I said, at the end of the day, I want to leave a good name. And it's never, you'll never leave a good name. Someone's always going to have some shit to say about you. Oh, I said un cabrón. It's always say something. I want to leave a good name. At the end of the day, I'm gonna try my best, and I want to leave something that my kids can say, damn, like my dad accomplished. He threw down. The people who are invested now with us, that are like, yo, this dude is just nonstop. I'm a workhorse, just nonstop. I'll leave here. When I leave here, I'll go home and voy a trabajar. I'm going to work. And then I'll play Fortnite for a little bit just to kind of mellow out.
Relax.
Yeah. Go to sleep and wake up and right back to the same thing. Like, a lot of people, this is not easy. I say it, I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it again. This is not easy.
You would think that being in the car community and, in the car scene and everything, that everybody would get along.
No.
And I wasn't prepared for all this when I first started, you know what I'm saying?
No.
I was like, damn, I'm gonna make friends. Dude, I think.
Look, especially for somebody like me, I'm still the newcomer. A lot of people think like, oh shit, yes, we came out the gate and we bangers and we did this, we did that. And I went from here and I went, and now we're slowly climbing again, but that happens to a lot of us. People who've been in the industry before me, Slammed Enough, Clean Culture, Import Evolution, Tune Revolution. These guys have been doing it, 10, 12 years, some of them. And I've seen them. Because again, before I'm a show host, I'm a vendor.
Yeah.
I've been to shows, and I said this in my last package, I've been to shows and not made $1, made enough to put gas in my car and come back home. And I've been to shows where I'm like, yeah, sold out everything.
That was another thing I wanted to talk to you about, the vendors. I know a lot of people that they're so-called vendors.
Yeah.
Right? So when they approach you, how do you handle them?
What do you mean?
In terms of when they want they want to be in your show. Yeah.
A lot of people are gonna hate me on this one. So I take any vendor, because at the end of the day, like, they want to represent their brand and they want opportunity. They want a chance. Someone took a chance in me when I started clean. I started with a Walmart canopy and a table and some shit, and that's it.
The basic.
And someone gave me an opportunity, and it turned into where I'm at now. So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to give that vendor the opportunity to come to the show. And, man, I've taken hits. I've given vendors free spots just because it's their first time and they've never been a vendor and they're trying to start out, just because I don't want to charge them $200, $300, $400, whatever the case may be. And they go there and they sell 2 T-shirts and they make $50.
See,
that's tough.
A lot of people don't understand that when you're a vendor, what you're doing is you're marketing your brand. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna go over there and sell half your product. I mean,
No.
don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that do.
Oh, I know a couple.
Yeah, but it's because they've been out there, you know, grinding.
Absolutely.
You know, elbows and
Look,
knees, and
I'm gonna use and I use him as an example all the time, and it's Denlin from Car Drugs. Denlin doesn't need to go to car shows. He can do a drop from his house, and he'll probably make just as much money, or if not more, at his home with his drop than at a car show. Denlin is invested in the community. He is an enthusiast. He loves people. He loves to be around people. So he goes and he does these other shows because he brings new merchandise and whatever. He gets to see the people, and he makes good money. And then there's vendors that, you know, you go to shows and, you know, they're sitting in the canopy and they got their arms crossed and they got a long face, or, you know, they're out there drinking and partying, and they're not. Branding and marketing is everything. If I come to your booth and you're sitting there and you're not doing anything, and I say, you've heard this, I say it all the time, and you don't acknowledge me, I'm gonna fucking walk away. So you lost the sale. If you come to the booth and we're like, yo, como tu estás? Yo, mira, oh shit, here, try it on.
You gotta throw that hustle in there.
Yeah, oh, I know you like it, you want it, that's
Yeah.
it. Same thing we do with our tire shine. Yo, you gotta take it. Yo, it's funny. We went to a car show.
Tire shine, but here I got the sponge so you could wipe it. You know what I'm saying? you gotta do the whole package.
We brought, I want to say we brought 10 to 15 cases. I'm not sure, but I think it was like 10 or 15 cases. And it was me and Original Kings, our car club out of Georgia. It was some of their guys, and we're like, yo, we're gonna sell all this tire shine out.
Original Kings.
Yeah, Chewy and Rafa and all them.
Isn't Leo in there?
Leo. Yeah. So we're like, we're gonna hustle the shit out this, and we're gonna sell this tire shine. We're gonna sell out, bro. Y ellos cada uno cogieron una lata, and everybody who walked by our aisle, yo, you gotta buy this tire shine. It's the best fucking shit. Yo, our booth was lit. Yo, we sold them all out.
Damn.
But why? Because the interaction and the people, and people were walking by like,
gets everybody interested.
Get everybody interested. So we try to do that a lot, where if we have a big enough staff with us, we try to make sure, like, yo, you got to come in, because, you know, and then people like to vibe. People are like, yo, these people fucking, they're hanging out, they want to vibe, so they just stuck around.
Yeah.
I bet
you see everybody else gets curious and they start
coming in. Yeah. And but again, we've been to shows and enough to buy. We went to a show last year, and it was a show, and it was more of, they were raising funds and donations, you know, and the money we made at the show, we literally donated it back to the show so they can use it for their donations.
Nice.
We literally stayed what we came with, which was good for gas and McDonald's when we left the show.
Gotta eat.
And then, you know, and we gave the rest of the money. Those are sacrifices sometimes people don't see as well. Like, oh yeah, they went to a show and they must have money. Bro, merch is expensive.
Yeah.
Hoodies, t-shirts, you know, the cost of print, the cost of, you know, we've been very blessed that we've worked with a lot of companies, and we've now established relationships with a lot of distributors where I can get stuff at a better price on wholesale. But at the end of the day, shit is still expensive.
That's great.
You know, it just, you gotta move forward, and for us, it's keep grinding. And for me, like I said, sometimes I self-doubt myself. Sometimes I'm there and I'm like, oh man, what's next?
Yeah.
Sam, what's next?
That's when you sit down and meditate and be like, okay, I got to top off what I did the last time. How are we gonna do that? You know.
You know, we were big on on the entertainment part. We did the dad bod contest, the bikini contest.
Dude, I seen y'all did wrestling.
So it's funny.
Wrestling. We
did the wrestling.
The food competition.
The food. Well, we're always gonna do the food competition. We just switch up if we're either gonna do pizza or something else. But everybody loves the food competition. Dad bod, I'm gonna stop because we started with dad bod, and I want to retire the dad bod, so we stopped. Bikini contest. It was a love-hate because a lot of people like it, and then there's a lot of people like, oh, they got women up there, they're shaking their head. Yeah. So we stopped that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this year, we don't know yet what we're doing. We'll figure something out.
Nice.
We'll see when the time comes. It'll be a surprise though.
So in terms of cars and stuff like that, what's been the most exotic car you've owned?
That I've owned? Man, I'm
not necessarily exotic, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
so
like
I owned a BMW when I lived up north. I've owned motorcycles. I'm a car guy. But it's funny. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I told you when you walked in that I saw your car. My Kia is by far my favorite car that I've ever owned. I don't know what it is about
clean,
it,
bro. Like, this shit is, like, you look at it, you're like, holy shit, man. Like,
and I don't. You see, it's built completely.
yeah.
I don't take it to shows because I'm a show guy. I host a car show, and I wouldn't find my car to the standard at this moment, even though it's all done, interior, suspension, wheels,
just details
audio,
details that you have in your head
that I want to continue to add,
yeah.
and then I'll bring it. But I love my Kia, man.
Gas mileage is
The gas
freaking
mileage,
awesome.
bro. The parts are super cheap, you know. And for me, when I get in my Kia, I love my music. I love to listen to my music. That's why we've invested what we've built in house, like, to make it sound where it is. Because my meditation, my relaxation, when I leave my house to here, is that music. So I want to just drive and be able to listen to my tunes the way I want. One day I'll listen to bachata. The next day I'll listen to reggaeton. I have gospel and Christian music in there. I have rock music in there. It's depending on the mood that I'm in. It's what I'm going to listen to in my car, and that's what makes me happy. Do I want another car? Absolutely. I've been saying I want a Porsche for I don't know how many years. Am I gonna have it? Probably not. You know, my dream car is a RX-7. You never know. You know, dream car for me is either a Suzuki Samurai or an RX-7. I want a rotary. That's been my dream car since I was a little kid. Maybe one day, you know. Right now, I've got a lot of shit I got to take care of before I can even look to that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's tough. But sacrifice and, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, el sudor, como uno dice, hopefully it'll get me to that position where I can be like, okay, everything is done. Everybody's happy. Let me go and maybe get what I want. And I probably won't. Because I'll see something else in investment and be like,
Let me throw it in there.
yeah, absolutely.
I got a couple of more.
You got more questions? Ooh,
Yeah.
I like the questions.
Okay. So, what advice would you give somebody that's getting in the car community, starting to do what you're doing now, or starting in the meets and all that stuff? What's a good advice?
If you're doing a car meet, let's start with the car meets first. If you're doing a car meet, get permission. Get permission wherever you're going. If it's, you know, the Taco Bell parking lot, if it's the Walmart parking lot, whatever the case may be, get permission. Because if you get permission, the cop shows up, you're not going to be turned away, and you're going to tell you pack your shit up and go. Have security or have somebody in charge of when shit goes wrong. They're going to be like, yo, I'm about to fuck some. You know what I'm saying? You know, like you did. You called the cops on your own show because you didn't want somebody to fuck your name up.
Yep.
You know, responsibility, overall responsibility. You know, that's key for me, you know, especially permission.
It's good too, because, you know, a lot of people don't understand that when you have police on site, if somebody gets out of line, you have the right to go to that person and
Exactly.
get them, like I've done before. You know, in order to you establish the respect that you need to get when you're building the community, those are the type of things you need.
Absolutely, you know, and I always say this, and I think a lot of people lose, like, hey, you know, we're just gonna go here and do this, but if something bad happens, let's say you do an event, you do a meet, excuse me, and viene un lucio, somebody stupid comes along, does a burnout, and crashes and hits somebody, hits another car, hits property. The first thing I look at, well, why are you guys here? Oh, that person did the meet. And if I'm there and they're like, well, he runs events, they're gonna look at me.
Yep.
I don't want none of that shit tied to me. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna host something like that, get permission, make sure you have the right paperwork or authority, whatever the case may be. Shows, investment, make sure you got the capital. Make sure you got the capital, and make sure you're ready to lose. Make sure that you are mentally ready, that if it doesn't go your way, you're not gonna shoot yourself.
So when you look at that bill, you're gonna be like, holy shit.
Again,
Yeah.
Read the fine print, read the contracts, make sure you know what you're signing. Again, I did it. I explained to you. We signed a contract, and it bit me in the ass because now I owe a shit ton of money that they want to take me to court for. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about, but, you know, now we're going to talk about it. You know, like we did a show, and I didn't read the fine print, and they after the contract came, and there was 2 different contracts, and You know, they're like, well, now you owe us $9,000 from $3,000.
Damn.
That's a hurt. Now I got to go to court. At the end of the day, guess what? I'm most likely gonna have to pay that fucking $9,000.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Those are
they're not gonna lose.
They're not gonna lose.
They're gonna get their money.
They're gonna hire a good, powerful attorney.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have money. Yeah, so I'm gonna end up losing most likely.
Yeah.
You know, read the fine print. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. You know, there's a lot of venues that you need a fire marshal, and you got to pay the fire marshal. You got to pay the city the fire marshal. You need EMT. You got to pay the EMT. You got to pay off-duty police officers. Most likely they want 3 or 4. They're $50 an hour. You know, then you have to have a floor plan. And sometimes I'm not going to mention which convention center it is, but there was one that we worked with where they wanted the floor plan on a CAD design. So we had to pay someone $150 for them to turn my work in, to draw it up, to submit it to them so their city fire marshal could approve it. That's extra money that sometimes, because the floor plan, we can do that. We go, here it is what we're doing. You know, some accept it, some don't. So those are things that people don't know on the back end. If you do a show and you're doing it in town, in a city, you got to work with the city. You got to work with the city fire marshal. You got to work with zoning and planning. You got to work with the police department.
And that's all for the indoor.
No, it's a mix. All around. Some shows are really lenient. This last show we did in Greenville, which was Greenville, North Carolina, I went in there with the mentality of what I just experienced with my last one with the fire marshal. That's how I went in there. I wanted to make sure that when he came in, everything was done.
Yeah.
And I see him walking in, and all my guys and everybody's like, yo, the fire marshal, the fire marshal. So he walks in, and I said, hey, I'm Sam, Kleenex Mission, pleasure to meet you. I can't remember his name, but he was a great guy. He says, hey, Sam, pleasure to meet you. I said, where do you want to start off? And his exact words were this. He goes, I know within 30 seconds of walking into an establishment if I'm going to have to shut it down. Bro, my heart dropped. Damn. Dropped. And I'm like, he says, no. I just want to let you know, by far, the best organization. And I'm like, okay. I said, let's
so you just pick me up and drop me.
Yeah. So I said, okay, let's take a walk and I'll show you exactly what we did. He goes, I already see it. I have the layout. He goes, the layout you submitted is literally to the T on what's on the floor, but I'll still walk with you. So we walk. I said, hey, this is an aisle, 10-foot walkway. This is an aisle, 10-foot walkway. You know, doors are not restricted. You know, fire extinguishers are not restricted. Here at the gate, whatever. I said there was one little corner that I was worried. It was because there was a vehicle that was just so big. He was intruding into the walkway maybe by like 1.5 feet. And there was nothing I could do. And I went over and I said, explain to him, hey, this car, he goes, straight. Everything else here, I'm not worried about that. Kept walking around and he goes, well, I see you're still loading in because we were still maybe 3/4 in and we still have vehicles coming in. He says, I'm not coming back, but I'm going to send my team back in about an hour to make sure everything is. I said, hey, do you guys want some wristbands for you guys can come after the show and hang out? He goes, absolutely. So I got wristbands. I gave them to their staff and everything. So about 11:30, almost 12, it wasn't even one. It was like 4 of them. It was one of the sergeants and 3 other guys that came in. And they walked in, and at that point, I already had kicked everybody out the building so I can walk with them peacefully with nobody there. So if there was an issue, I can address it easily without having the crowd of people. Man, they walked in. They were like, oh, Mr. Rivera, man, everything is exactly how we expected it to be. Everything is fine, no issues. They walked around, took pictures of the cars, walked, and never came back. Done.
That's what's up.
So
it's good when it comes out like that.
It's good when it comes out.
Hassle.
Exactly.
You just come, do what you got to do.
Yeah, and they were very. The convention center is fantastic. They were beyond more than what we expected, to the point where I used them as a referral for another venue. And she called me. She says, hey, Sam, Mr. Rivera, just let you know that such and such called me. And we gave him a wonderful referral. And I hung up with her. And the other convention center called me. He's like, hey, Sam, I just spoke to such and such over here. And we want to say that all they did was praise you guys. Exactly what you said you were going to do, you did. You came in at this time. You left at this time. You left everything clean. There was no damage. Your guys were respectful. We're sending you the contract. And literally within 30 minutes, they sent me the contract for next year for one of my events. And boom, we were done. Yeah. So sometimes, yes, it does work out. But you have to make sure everything is checked. Especially when it comes, the fire marshal's the one guy who will come in and say, yo, no.
Yeah, he's the one that
doesn't care.
At the end of the minute, you could have the house full, Get everybody
Get
out.
everybody out. Again, he did it. The one that did it at my other Greenville, he no quería. He made my guys disconnect battery. There was cars. It was almost to where he did it on purpose because he didn't like the show and he didn't like that there was tuners there and he didn't like that he had to be there. He made it very hard and uncomfortable, and that made my show be even worse because what happens is
that's even crazy because like on top of that he gave you fines.
See, well, here's what's funny. Nobody, and you know it. A lot of people don't know it. I ate those fines.
Damn.
There were
So
seven.
that's
I
a
ate
fucking
I ate
loss,
7
dude.
fucking fines that hurt me and hurt my show and hurt the business. Some of my staff doesn't even know this. Now they're gonna know. Some of my staff don't know that we had to eat the fine for me to have the damn show. Because here's what was gonna happen. If I didn't take the fine, he was gonna make me empty the building and get all the cars out.
What?
So now I have 122, 123 cars in the venue that they're all going to want their refund. Everybody who paid the ticket is going to want a refund. So I'm not negative 18, 19. Now I'm negative 20, 40, whatever the case may be.
Holy shit.
So we made an agreement and I took the hit on the fines because each fine was like nine. It was almost $1,000 each one. So we took a lower less on the fine and I took the 7 fines and ate the fucking fines for that show to happen. Nobody knows that. This is the first time that I'm putting that out publicly. Those who know it are my intimate staff and my wife because she was the one who had to write and right there.
Write the check.
Right there.
So
here's
you
the
had
money.
to write it on the spot?
Right there.
Oh fuck.
And some of the money we didn't have. I had to ask somebody, yo, can I got you, Sam, because I know you're having a hard time. And literally when that night when the show was done, we paid him back for the fine for us to have that fucking show.
Damn.
It was almost 60, it was like $5,900 to $6,200 right around that pay. Yo me mamé eso.
It's crazy because you do the show thinking you're gonna
I
go there and make money. But
I left that show. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. There was for a week straight, I almost wanted to hang myself.
nah, don't do that.
For a week straight. It was tough, man. And people are like, because I have so much invested, not just financially, this is supposed to be my biggest show. I already owe people money that they're expecting the show to do good. And I get stuck with that. You know what I'm saying? None of my vendors knew that. Some of my staff didn't know that because some of my staff they're my workhorses. They come, they do the work, they're done and they leave. My intimate staff that's involved on the back end, they ate that shit. And they're, man, I gotta give a shout out to them. They know who they are. They work the show with their head high and their chin high because there was a couple who brings me to tears. There was a few who locked themselves in the bathroom crying because of that shit. Because it's tough, man, to work so hard and promote so hard. And you got a fire marshal that says, hey, if you want this to happen, you're gonna have to eat that shit.
The crazy part about it is that you have to pay the fire marshals.
Yeah.
To go there and inspect your show.
Inspect your show.
On top of that, they give you a fucking fine.
And then top, they give you a fine. If I recall correctly, it was 5 cars, and one of them had double fines.
Damn.
Because at the end of the day,
So, let me just to clear it out of my head. The drivers don't get fines.
no,
It's the show.
at the show host, for the show to continue. Because there was one that unfortunately couldn't disconnect the battery. We couldn't find the owner. The owner wasn't in the building. Some of these cars loaded in the day before.
Yeah, because they
And then they don't come until the show starts. So he wasn't there. Cars was locked, no keys, no nothing. He couldn't check the gas in the car, couldn't check the nothing.
That's crazy.
So it's a charge for the battery and it's a charge for the gas. Then there was cars who had parked overnight that I blame myself. We're lenient. They had a little bit over quarter tank of gas. He wanted it below. This is the line for you. If you guys see my camera, this is the line for the quarter tank, right? And the gas was like right here instead of right here. And I had to eat that.
So he wanted it below the line.
Below quarter line.
Not the line.
No, below. And for 5 cars, we took a hit. I never went to the car guy I never. Like, again, this is the first time that I'm openly, publicly talking about this. We never talked about to any of them. We didn't even say nothing. I did say, you know, I in my last podcast, I fought for you guys.
Yeah.
That fighting was that it cost me to write that money so that show couldn't run, and it didn't do good. Nobody came to the show. People criticized it. The vendors criticized it. You know, at the end of the day, I'm trying to do something different. You go to a car show sometimes and you sit there and you're there for 6-7 hours and you fall asleep and you're fucking, there's nothing. So we try to bring entertainment, the food contest, the wrestling, something for you to at least enjoy yourself to do.
And you know, that's what I like about your shows, man, because you go over there and you'll have the food thing, you'll have the music, of the rock bands, and then the wrestling, because
it makes the time goes quick.
Yeah, in a lot of shows, you go over there and you do exactly that. You just get in your car and just wait till they come judge you, and then when they judge you, you know, then you gotta wait the line to get out.
I know. Crazy. I've been to shows where I'm like,
entertainment is best thing for the car show.
For me, look, if I had the money and the financial backing, excuse me, I'd go book artists to come to the show.
That'd be
like old school dub would bring artists because it makes the day go by fast, bro. I don't even want to be there. I say this all the time. Look, if the judges are done and it's 5:30 and I see no one's coming through the door, like, yo, y'all want to go home? See, let's go. I don't want to be there. I love this shit, but I hate this shit. And I always say it. I say it at the shows and I say it at the podcast. It's a love-hate relationship. You know what I'm saying? And when things like that happen, like happened at that Greenville, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth and it leaves it in the enthusiast. Some of those people don't want to come to a show because they had such a bad experience because of that fire marshal. Yeah. It ruined the day for them. They could have gone with the best intentions of having the best time of their life, and because of that situation.
Any damages reported in terms of the disconnecting battery?
No. Well, there was one that there was an issue at the end of the night. The car wouldn't restart, and they had to get a tow truck. But they ended up figuring out the situation. So thankfully, no, because again, that goes on me. That goes on my insurance, and I have to file a claim. And we've never had a claim. Thank you, Lord, we never had a claim. But all those things factor in when you're hosting a show. You got to be prepared for that. I was never ever in any, and I don't think any event host to this day will ever be prepared for a fire marshal to come in and be like, yo, I'm about to fine you, or you got to remove all your cars. And if not, this is what the fine is. You can write a check to the name of that's how it.
The county.
Yeah. Damn. And if you want to, that's what's going to happen. And they're going to have to do it. Again, if you imagine, you know, having a car show and you've got 350 cars inside, packed to the house.
Having to empty the whole thing out.
And be like, yo, I'm not paying this fine. The fire marshal says, okay, well, you're not opening your doors, and you can remove every single vehicle out.
Damn.
The backlash.
Yeah, because then the crowd goes wild.
The crowd's
you don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want that. The crowd's gonna be like, oh my God, well, why would you not be? You know, so were we prepared as a team, as a brand, financially and mentally for that? Absolutely not. I don't think nobody is. We took that punch and rolled with it and did our best through the whole day. It was, man.
That's crazy.
And here we are again.
It kills the vibe.
It kills it. You know, it kills it. And my wife knows, and she runs everything. When I mean she runs everything, she runs everything. I'm just the face.
She's a soldier.
Yeah, she runs everything, and she knew. She saw me struggle. You know, and it's tough because I love this and she loves it, and we met a lot of people, great people, and something like that happens and it doubts you. It doubts you. Like, I didn't want to do it. I was like, yo, I'm just gonna, work on my shop and get rid of all my shit and call it a day.
Just live the normal life.
It doubts you. But then, bro, I've got so much branded. Bro,
you can't drop it now.
You can't drop it now, bro. You see the back of this, bro. There's a whole wall. I gotta build another wall just to hide the shit that's back there. Yeah. There's so much shit, So roll with the punches. I again, shout out to everybody who's been here and have been patient and understanding and knows the stuff behind closed doors that has worked and helped me get to where I'm at, because this is not a one-man show, man. It'll never be a one-man show.
It's a team.
It's a team. It's a team.
Man, well, I really want to thank you for the opportunity of
No,
letting me come out here and do this.
no,
with you,
man. I've been wanting to do another podcast, and I got to shout out to my guy Ethan. Ethan, we haven't been able to sit down and do a podcast. He's so busy running. He's like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
He's doing the drift shows. He's doing all. Man, he's everywhere, and I owe him money, and he's been bro. He's one of those guys, man. He's just so humble, so understanding, and he's growing. And I wanted him to come to Puerto Rico. What's funny, he was coming to Puerto Rico with us. And we came and we sat down like, hey, we're going to go to Puerto Rico. I want you to come out to Puerto Rico. And
he's not going?
No. So he was looking at the dates. And the same weekend is Grid Life right here in South Carolina. And they booked him for Grid Life. So he's going to be filming content for Grid Life.
Next time.
But next time, yeah, he's got to come because I've been wanting him to come to Island for us. And there's a lot of great people, man, that have been with us that, you know, our soundstage guy, you know, we have a beautiful stage, and yeah, that's our guy Victor, and again, we owe him super understanding, you know. The wrestling guys, Franco and them, man, you know when you meet somebody and you're like, man, that's family.
Yeah.
Franco and Ryan and his team, man, that's family. Which is funny, he's actually going to be wrestling in Puerto Rico the same week that we're there for the show. Small world, so it's gonna be exciting.
Puerto Rico's big on wrestling.
Yeah, so he's gonna be out there.
If you was to do something like that over there, trust me,
he will eat it up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So he's gonna be out there doing his thing, but we're gonna link up, and he's gonna come to the show because he wrestles Saturday, and then our show Sunday. So I'm hoping to link up with him so he can come to the show and hang out with us. That's another great person, man, who's been there and be like, yo, whatever, man. It's the familia.
Yeah.
You know, and I've come to terms to where big box companies take hits and they keep rolling. You know, people don't talk about how when GameStop was dropping and then everybody spoke about GameStop when GameStop was at the fucking top and everybody was like, yo, we got to buy stocks in GameStop. But nobody spoke when GameStop was on the floor about to close the doors. Nobody.
No, that was crazy.
You know, in our industry, everybody talks about the failures. They're quick to point fingers and
jump on it quick
and jump and cause a lot of shit. But nobody will talk about, damn, but they did this for the community, or they did that, or this individual. You know, they won't. That's the sad thing about it. You know, but it happens, and here we are grinding 2024. So I'm hoping to we'll see you in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm hoping to see you guys in Puerto Rico, and then we come back from Puerto Rico. And we partnered up this year with MB Drift, which they're a local drift company from here from the beach. And we've been wanting to work with them forever. So
what's the plan with them?
We're gonna do a drift/meet at one of the venues here. So we're gonna be drifting, car meet, chuchero, loud music, boceteo.
Yeah, keep me up to date with that because I want to be on that one.
So we're gonna be doing that, and it's gonna be fun. So I appreciate you coming all the way from Jacksonville, coming up here to hang with us and just shoot the shit and talk real shit.
I appreciate it, man, because it's like I was telling my daughter. I was like, hey, man, I need to go up there and kick it with him a little bit.
Have a better understanding of life. Yeah. What we need to do is
because when I was gonna start doing the podcast, I did two episodes, but I didn't release them. I did one, but I didn't release it. Then I did the second one, which was the reaction one.
The reaction one?
But here's the kick on that one. I did it like before you did Myrtle.
Okay.
So whenever you posted out the video that said with the fuckery
shit,
I did it exactly like a couple of days after that. So when I did that, I hit you up on Instagram and I sent you a message and I was like, yo, I'm gonna do a reaction. And then I was like, after I sent it, I retracted it. I was like, no. And I think you seen it, but you didn't say nothing. So I was like, no, I'm going to hold up on it because I want to sit and actually look at it and see what I can edit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of mistakes because of the program, whatever. So my boy that he was doing it with me, he was like, man, when you going to release it? When you going to release it? And I'm like, I gotta sit and look at it, bro. I've been looking at it almost every day, right?
Bro, when you released that and I saw it, I'm like, yo, this is first of all, it's humbling. I'm humbled that you took the time to do that. Not a lot of people are going to do that, to actually look behind and see what happens behind closed doors. Because again, on same thing like I was just explaining on events, there's so much shit that happens behind closed doors, and nobody knows unless you're intimate staff and you know what, man.
Yeah.
So for you to sit there and take the time and be like, yo, Sam blew his top. Like, yeah, I was pissed. I was fucking mad.
And you could tell too. And I told him, I was like, I'm gonna do the reaction video and I'm gonna release it, whatever. But then I was like, damn, should I do it? Should I not? You know what I'm saying?
Good.
So when I did release it, was this after I released the first one. And I was like, all right. So when you reacted on it, I was like, oh shit. I wasn't sure how you was gonna take it. That's why I had sent you the message.
That was perfect.
When I see your reaction, I was like, man, that's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I want people. This is. Sometimes things need to be said, good or bad. Unfortunately,
no, you know definitely, man. And you used your platform to do that. You know, and the thing about it is, Sam, that the people don't like it. If you don't like it.
That's
don't
like I was saying before.
You're gonna talk shit about it. Why are you here?
Yeah, it's like I was saying before. Like, you know, I saw that video from Doyster Media. You know, and he commented. I get it, man. I feel for him. I do, because I'm in his shoes and I'm not in his shoes. I'm in his shoes because people owe me money, and I'm in the other person's shoes because I owe money.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
It's a circle.
You know what I'm saying? It's a circle, and for me, it's like, bro, if I had it right now, like, you know, I'm not living lavish, bro. Shit, Christmas for us, shit, I was on ramen noodles and you know what I'm saying? At one point,
we all been there.
Yeah, we all been there. You know, and my guys know, my close team knows, like, you know, when there's need and I'm there, they know it's there and they got it, and they know when it's not there, you know, they pitch in and they come as collectively. Man, I've got, like I said. For PR, they are like, yo, we're going. We already bought our tickets. We're there. And I'm like, espérate, pero si yo, I haven't even
got mine.
I haven't even got mine. Bro, I had 4 of my guys. I had 4 of my guys for a week. Hey, ¿qué vas a hacer con las taquillas? Hey, are you, what? I want to know. I'm like, why? I'm like, yo, because I'm buying my ticket. I'm waiting on you to tell me what day I need to be there for me to buy my ticket. And I sat with the wife, and like I was saying, we had points with Southwest that we were fortunate enough to use, where we were able to buy my tickets with our points, and then I called them. I was like, mira, this is the day I'm getting there, and I need you there by Friday. By the end of the night, they all called me. It's like, oh, we got our tickets. We'll see you there. Pick us up at the airport. Yeah. So my team is the one. Literally, Puerto Rico is happening because of my team. That is going on because they are making that sacrifice of, we're going to work with the merch. We're going to carry the merch. We're going to do this. We're figuring this out. You know, I have people on the island. Mira, yo me encargué de esto. Don't worry about it. Tú llega. You get here. The rest I got. Because of them. Because for me, if financially I was set, I would have done this. You already know.
Yeah.
It's a risk. They're like, yo, we're going to take this risk and we're going to take it with you, and we're going to do this.
Going out there to make it happen.
And we're going to make it happen. So shout out to them, man, because that's going to happen because of my team. Puerto Rico's coming.
Yes,
so
sir.
We'll see you guys in Puerto Rico.
Definitely. But once again, man, I really appreciate the opportunity, man. And, you know, it was worth the drive. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You get a lot of the scenery and all that stuff on the way
here. I-95.
Yeah. All that stuff, man. You know, and it's, you know, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.